Your spiritual awakening is not for other people. It is for yourself. So important that you understand that. So you don't spend the rest of your life hoping and wishing for greater abilities, connection to spirit, so that you can just outsource it to someone else. I'll tell you what typically happens when I connect in with people, whether it's through mentorship or courses or in session, is they immediately say, I'm here to help others. I saw a vision of me healing the world. I saw a vision of me on stage. Well, those are important things. You will heal a lot of people. You will help a lot of people with your spiritual awakening. But if that is the reason that you are doing what you are doing, then I bet that you feel at a standstill right now. I bet you feel confused of what you're supposed to be doing, what offerings you're supposed to be doing, why your abilities aren't clear, why you feel like a complete disconnection from your spiritual life to your everyday life. And you kind of like, what do I need to chuck out? Is it the kids? Is it the family? Is it I live in the Midwest? I mean, don't check your kids out. When you are utilizing your spiritual awakening as another thing that you can just give away to someone else, thinking, and this is where our kind of archetypal energy, these overarching themes come in for a lot of intuitives, a lot of healers that are incarnated at this time, is that they are thinking it is the righteous, it is the loving, it will be what graces me with notoriety, with a sense of worthiness. If I just say, I just want to help others, what typically happens is I see people burn themselves out. Quite literally, I've had very intuitive people go through my mentorship or go into my courses. They see a vision, they've been seeing visions of them healing and helping the world. And they say, well, if spirit aligns that I meet with, 500 people today, then that means that spirit's going to take care of me. Well, what happens is they do that and then they end up sick, or they end up in hospital, or they don't do any more sessions because they're like, oh my gosh, I can never let that happen again. Just because you can perceive it doesn't mean that in our rational minds as humans, that is actually what is supposed to look like. You are here on this earth incarnated at this time solely for you. You are here to remember yourself. You are here to have fun. You are here to reconnect back to the most primordial aspect of you, to integrate your shadow, your inner child, your past lives, imprints of other lives. We can get into that in another time. Your family's history, the karma, you're here to transmute it, meaning take it from this density, something that's in the shadow, meaning my family is full of addicts, my family is full of anger issues, abuse, and you're meant to, within yourself, heal that karmic connection. Doesn't mean that you're here to heal your entire family. You could say that, but actually that's never the point that you need to think about. The point that you need to think about is, how can I remember and balance myself, even if I'm around a group of people who are emotionally abusive, that are addicts, that are disconnected from their truth? How do I remember myself? How do I speak to myself? How do I connect in? Okay. With that, you are going to naturally have a ripple effect. We're all having a ripple effect no matter what you're doing, that is going to affect the way that your children, your spouse, your friends, your loved ones are going to experience life. You may be that you heal and it highlights their wounds even more, and they make you the problem. But wait, I thought I was supposed to heal and help everyone. Why are the people closest to me who are supposed to love me feeling like my greatest enemies? This can be really difficult for so many people who have always been the ones to be quiet and take care of the family and do anything to bring the family together, and really kind of like, I'm the backbone of this. That when they start having their spiritual awakening and maybe they say like, I don't really believe that, or I'm trying to do this, or I'm trying to set boundaries, all of a sudden the people who have usually been creating issues in the family, the narcissist, the addict, the one who has anger issues and goes off on everyone, they get, a pass over and over and over, right? Oh, that's just this person. They struggle with this. But you, when you speak up, all of a sudden it's like the world imploded. Who are you to think you can do that? So the people who are closest to you, when you are having your spiritual awakening, you think I'm supposed to heal and help this family clear ancestral karma. It might look like they don't vibe with you anymore. And you're going to question yourself, am I doing the right thing? And you should always be inquisitive about that, because the more and more you're inquisitive and curious of, is this actually the balanced thing? I actually take out right or wrong. My guides they've had to really drill this into my head here recently. Layla, stop thinking about right versus wrong. That is so in the human perspective, because I'm naturally already going to think in that way. So don't worry that all of a sudden you're going to become some egomaniac who's just going to do everything for themselves. We are so naturally conditioned to think right versus wrong. But when we're talking to spirit and we're wanting a higher perspective, remove yourself of, is this the right thing to do? That's why you're stuck in all these stories all the time. That's why you're stuck in you're going back and ruminating and thinking about, how did they do this? And why would they do this? And I would never do that to them, because you're stuck in the right versus wrong. Instead, raise your perspective. How do we do that? We learn how to connect into our heart, into our intuition, into our body. We learn how to connect into our guides, maybe to the Akashic records. There's many ways that you can input in here of how do you connect into that higher level of consciousness. And we see the overarching perspective of, what am I being asked to balance here? Okay. What am I being asked to step into? What am I being asked to surrender? Where am I still trying to hold on to control? Where's it that I can trust in the universe? Where is it that I need to take aligned actions? It's always this, I'm seeing a top being spun. It's always constantly like adjusting, right? It's not just surrender this and everything will be okay. No, a top is constantly, when you spin it, it's going to the left a little bit and then to the right, and then you'll see it go to the back, and then it'll go back to the left. It's always constantly having this sense of balance. And once you learn how to do it, it's not overwhelming, it's nourishing, because if not, you're stuck in your mind and your stories all day. How many of you are stuck in the stories of the mind that sometimes are playing and you don't even know that you are playing out? And you can get caught in it for minutes to hours to days. I've been playing the same story over and over and over about this situation. I've been doing fake scenarios. I've been having fake confrontations. That is what will happen if we don't learn how to not only get that higher perspective with balance, but then also the perspective of what does the body need? What does my nervous system need? What is my shadow and inner child bringing up? It's that constant like shifting. I want you to kind of think of this. I'm getting pulled back into this memory. When I was first learning to drive, I remember my dad was driving me down the road, and it was an old country road, like nobody's on it. And he was like, Layla, I want you to like try to take a sip of this Pepsi here to like learn how to like multitask. And I was so, you know how when you're first driving, you're so over aggressive with all of your corrections. I told him, I said, I will never take a drink in my entire life. Like, I will never do it. Now I can put on a full face of makeup, not even looking at the mirror, drive, talk, eat, everything. Not safe, not smart. Like, don't, okay. Okay. So when we're first starting in our awakening or learning how to set boundaries or learning how to connect to them, it can be really stressful. I remember getting done with those drives and be like, God, that took everything out of me, because I'm so stressed that I'm not doing it right. I'm so stressed that this is such a chore. I'm always on the alert for danger of me doing something wrong. Well, when you keep doing it over and over and over, you're driving every single day, you learn how to do micro adjustments without even thinking. When I'm in a place where someone is acting a certain way or feeling a certain energy, I'm not like going off all the way off to the side of the road, with the over adjustment. I'm just like slightly moving my body without unconsciously almost. And then kind of like putting my hand up and redirecting the energy. I'm pivoting and allowing for adjustments to be made. And so it's the same thing when you are learning how to connect into your healing with your truth, with your boundaries, it'll become micro adjustments. But it's just another way that I want to reiterate that your awakening process, your process of healing, your process of coming into your soul purpose of, I'm here to help the world. If it is layered in the fact of I need to help other people, I need to give away this gift immediately, then you're missing the true gold here, which is the more connected to the truth of who you are, the more you don't shame yourself, the more you don't push yourself beyond your means, The more that you're not afraid, if I set boundaries with spirit, then possibly spirit will take away these gifts from me. It's the more and more you realize that you are still playing in this game of that your spiritual awakening is almost like you get bestowed some sort of gift or present. And if you're a real good girl and you act real nice and you take care of everyone else and you don't question spirit, you don't say, hey, please don't do this, please don't wake me up, then you'll get to keep that gift. But if you don't meditate, if you maybe do something that's not considered nice, if you set boundaries with spirit, you make sure that you're taken care of first. You ask yourself, what do I actually want? Then all of a sudden, it's not some gift that you're just holding, waiting for someone to steal it away from you when you feel as though you're unworthy. It just becomes who you are. There is no taking it away. It is a remembrance of you. And so I want you to see if you're in your journey, and when I'm talking about spiritual awakening, I just want to talk about someone who's on the spiritual path, okay? If you are constantly thinking, how am I going to help other people, and your life is in shambles, you don't know how to connect to your intuition, you feel as though you're stuck in a relationship that is draining you. You feel like if I just manifest more, if I just do more, if I just act better, maybe all of a sudden someone will see my website and everyone will book. You're already off path. But actually, let me clarify this too. This is the funny thing about the spiritual path. There is no off path. It's all happening for you. This belief that I have to give it away to everyone else, and also that I'm off path, is exactly the path that you are taking right now that will bring you the awareness of where you are not remembering and honoring the divinity of who you are, and instead thinking, I need to, through my actions, through my exertion, through my sacrifice, earn favor of the gods. God, universe, whatever. It's so much easier for spiritual people to just focus on everyone else and think that that means that they're doing the righteous thing. But it's actually really difficult to do this just for you, because are you worthy enough? Do you believe yourself good enough? Do you believe yourself intuitive enough? Do you really believe that you are all these things that you keep repeating? It's very difficult to look within yourself. It's so much easier to project outwards and say, if I can just help and heal this person and they tell me I'm really good, I'm so kind, I'm so sweet. If I just offer my services and don't tell them, you don't need to worry about paying. And I really feel as though I'm just this great person. It gives you a coin in your deposit bank of worthiness, but it's always an external validation. And eventually it will work at first. And eventually that well will run dry. And then you have no way to self-source that sense of divinity and worthiness, because in all actuality, that is the goal. The goal is to remember oneself, to know yourself, to balance all parts of yourself, to bring yourself back into the light, back into your conscious awareness, back into the loving state. Not by force, not by doing more, not by being the best intuitive. I work with a lot of women who are Reiki 2 certified, connect into their intuition, who maybe give reading or tarot readings to other people, always going to retreats, doing all of these things, taking the courses, doing the stuff, taking a channeling course, doing the next thing, but they never seem to, and this is what happens when they get into mentorship. They're like, but I don't know how spirit speaks to me. I don't know my spiritual abilities. I don't know my spirit guides. I know they're there, but I have no real connection to it. And also, I don't know if I really even trust myself. And so I'll see people do a lot of work because it's the outward. Let me help you. Let me take this course. Let me spend the money. And that is necessary. It's all about balance. You are going to want to share this information with people. You are here to help other people, but it's further down the stream, okay? We're almost putting the cart before the horse. You need to connect in with you, and your natural remembrance and doing the inner work will then radiate outwards to help people. It will be of service to other people. You then maybe want to invest in a business coach, in a mentorship that can assist you in really connecting in with more clarity to your abilities. But I'll have a lot of people who have done the work, done the work, done the work. And instead of buying more things or waiting for spirit to bless you or listening to the TikTok reading of the tarot reading every single day, if you sat with yourself and became curious about who you were, about your triggers, about what makes you upset, of why you're always sick, of why you're staying in this relationship, in this marriage, of why you don't trust your intuition and you really don't know how your intuition works, and why you don't understand how your spirit guides connect. If you actually got curious about yourself, you would just, your spiritual gifts, your sense of wisdom and rooting within yourself would explode. The truth is, your intuition, your psychic abilities, your ability to connect in with spirit is in direct reflection to the inner work that you've done, the remembrance that you've done, the remembering of who you are. It is not you all of a sudden have psychic abilities, you talk to your spirit guides, and you just trust that, and then life gets better. That's like a Band-Aid. It will take you so far. But then eventually that high from it will go back down, your third eye opening, and someone telling you that you're here to heal the world, and you're here to, I see you on stages talking to people, and I see you giving readings, and you get that boost, and you're an Arcturian princess, and you get that boost, and you're like, yes, I'm here. That takes you only so far till you need another dose of that to make yourself feel good, to say, I have a purpose here. When instead, if you just took it within, let me remember myself. Let me be curious about myself. Why is it that I feel triggered when I hear my kids outside of my door when I'm trying to meditate? What is that? Why is it that I feel triggered and upset with the way that my mother spoke to me? And then I played the stories over and over and over and over in my head for a week, and also feel the sadness of the disconnection of the relationship. Let me become curious about that. How can I bring that forward to the light of my conscious awareness and work on that of reintegrating that energy? This isn't about like pulling up, like a lot of people say, well, Layla, when you talk about healing or you talk about shadow work or inner child, I've done that before, which is always like makes me kind of chuckle, because it is a symbolic representation of constantly meeting yourself. So there's no, I've done that and it's done. This isn't filing your taxes. This is meeting yourself over and over and over. They'll say, well, I don't really remember my past. I don't really remember my childhood. And I also don't want to bring those up. I don't want to dredge it up. I've already forgiven. I've already moved on. Well, for one, I can kind of call bull on I've moved on. You think you've moved on, but you're still living as the wounded, triggered inner child, as the girl who was never listened to, as the girl who always had to be the nice one, as the girl who always had to make sure everyone was okay so that she felt safe. And this isn't about dragging up old memories. I don't remember my childhood. Like very small moments. My husband, he's like, I remember being 2 or 3 looking out my driveway. I remember being here at 3 or 4. I remember very significant things. I don't remember it. It's not important to remember that. You're meeting that present version of you now. Remember, your inner child and shadow are the symbolic representation of current energy that you are still identifying with now that are anchored from the past. That's all you got to meet is yourself in the present. I'm not asking you to go back in time. I'm asking you to meet yourself in present time. And if you did that and became curious about that, then your ability to help and heal thousands of people would expand, not by force, but by the natural outpouring and rippling of you putting yourself as the most important experience that you are going to experience this life. I remember when I first started my spiritual awakening, it was like, oh, great, I get to do this for other people, which is amazing. It's very much in my astrology to be an overgiver, an overfeeler. How can I just help you? Don't worry about me. But the self-doubt, the sense of pain, the sense of disconnection, the sense of feeling like I was going crazy, just got more and more. I would say, okay, I'm supposed to help heal the world. What does that look like? Tell me what I'm supposed to do. What am I supposed to do? Give me the plan. Should I be a medium? Should I do this? Should I do all of this stuff? Give me the plan. And instead, my guides would say, connect with yourself, connect to your body, connect to your feelings and emotion. Well, that's not good enough because I don't really care that much about me. I care way more about everyone else saying, oh, Layla, she's really good. She's really kind. She's really nice. She's so gifted. All that pain she's gone through in her life. Look how beautiful she is in this moment. Look how much she's willing to give and she's offering. And look at all that pain. That was really my story of this wounded healer. I can't believe you're going through that. You've gone through that. And look at you still showing up. Ooh, give me a dose of feel good, right? And I realized I have a deep discomfort with fakeness, being inauthentic. And I always had this feeling throughout my entire life, even before my spiritual awakening, that there was something about myself I didn't understand or know, and that made me uncomfortable with myself. It's like I knew that this was a performance. And maybe if I just perform more, just try to be better, will myself to be better, then maybe all of a sudden life will start making sense and my purpose will start making sense and all of this pain I've been through will start making sense, when instead the real asking was, can you lay down the story and instead meet yourself over and over and over? And know that you're worthy and beautiful and divine and connected. And then when I started to do that, what I noticed is I would ask and tell Spirit, okay, bring me this many people this week. Bring me this many people this week. Bring in this, bring in that. And it would always be met. But if I was stuck in my head, if I was stuck in the emotion of fear or control or ego or scarcity or abandonment, and nobody really actually likes me and nobody really actually cares, then all of a sudden, like, I would feel that disconnection from the amount of people that I would be able to work with. And I would take it not as a sign that Spirit has withdrawn from me, that they've taken away this beautiful gift, but that I have clouded myself in illusion so much that my natural shining in divinity cannot attract to me what I was desiring, but it was attracting to me what I was being. Meaning I was saying, bring me in this much money, bring me in this much clients, bring me in this, let me be of service, let me be of service, let me be of service. But my fear, control, shame, abandonment was way stronger than the few words I would say in my head and the few posts I would create on Instagram. And instead I was attracting what I was truly being and feeling and resonating with, even if I was trying to trick myself into, I'm divine, I'm love, I'm connected to all things, I surrender everything. I've had people ask me, which is really interesting, like, how have you been? See, this is even uncomfortable to kind of like brag, but this is, I don't know if this is bragging and sharing, but this is so typical for people who are, and don't like receiving, but they like giving because it makes them feel good, but receiving feels like responsibility, like I owe you something. I would have people say to me, like, how did you do what you do? Like, how did you get this many followers? How did you go from this job to this job so quickly? How did you open up this? Like, how did this happen for you? Like, what did you do? When I say I haven't done ads and, I don't do the trends. What I really did was I had to meet those parts of myself every day. And I started to see a pattern, like I was talking about, that if I really got stuck in disillusionment, I would feel that disconnection from the flow of source, like moving people or money or situations, opportunities that were good for me my way. And when I was stuck in my mind, that would start to slow down. And when I've all of a sudden reconnected with myself, all of a sudden I saw a pouring of just like opportunities and people come in. And so it really did train me, reprogram, recode, like my whole working, my whole operating system of, your abundance, your manifestation of your abilities, your connection to your purpose, feeling aligned, has only so much to do with the work that you actually do, the action you apply. And about 80 to 90% of it is the energy that you be. It's not just what I say, it's what I believe to be true. And the only way you can take someone like me who was ready to die all throughout 2008 to 2012, that was all kind of diagnoses, that felt like they were possessed for a majority of their life, where they wondered, why do I see demons? Why can't I look at people's faces without them twisting? Why do I feel this deep, impulsive thoughts just popping into my head of terrible things? Why me? Why this family situation? When I realized that the only way to recode that was, one, my guides needed to hit me over the head or stab me with a needle on my upper palate when I was having my dental appointment, to shock me open, for me to actually perceive with my physical eyes what I've been feeling my whole life, and then go, now what? It wasn't that I was given a gift of sight, of clairvoyance, of being able to hear, and that was it. It was like, no, we've given you now the shovel and the excavation tools so that you can start going inward. Because if you try to keep digging these holes, these gifts of these psychic abilities of this shovel and this jackhammer, and you try to build other people up, you will run out of power. You won't be able to do it. You won't understand how to help other people. They gave me these tools, my soul, my higher self, to say, Layla, now you're being able to see what you've always felt and what you've always known, what you've heard. Now we need you to go within and learn the path of how do you create your own inner temple, your own inner sanctuary, a place of holy divine worship within yourself, of pure love, where all parts of you are welcome to this table. How can you create that? So then you don't go digging holes for everyone else of, let me help you. I'm the healer. I can help you. I can connect into this. Instead, I tell you, you already got the tools right here. You've had the jackhammer. You've had the shovel. I'm going to show you how to dig your own inner well, your own inner sanctuary, your own inner place, your own inner temple where all parts of you can join. Because I don't want you coming to the service of me every single day. I don't want you coming to the temple of Layla every Sunday looking for me to tell you that you are good and worthy. Not because I don't want to help you, but because I do want to help you. I know that you need to be creating that within yourself. You should never be putting another person, a mentor, a guide, an angel, ascended master, a title of the Octurians above your own inner self. You have so much beautiful divinity just coursing through your veins, locked away in little compartments of shame within yourself. If you let them out and brought all of your energy forward to just be, and you use your psychic abilities to create space for that, your life would change. Thus, the people around you lives would change. You would be the healer that you see on stage in your vision. You would be the healer that helps the world, not through force, not through wishing, not through maybe one day I'll be blessed with this NDE that will open up all my abilities. It will just naturally happen because the frequency and worthiness in the beingness that you are will naturally gravitate that open. And the action that you're looking of, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to be a medium? Am I supposed to open these sessions? It will just naturally come to you. Oh, it makes, of course. Now, I just know now. Oh, I'm supposed to do this. I'm supposed to create this podcast. I'm supposed to write this book. I'm supposed to start sharing on social media. If you don't understand it yet, what you're supposed to be doing, then keep digging within. Keep meeting yourself, not as a chore, but a sense of devotion to the divine, to yourself. You are the treasure looking to be found. The treasure is not out there. It is not in a reading for someone else. It isn't you just sitting there pouring Reiki into someone else and healing them. Let me dig the holes for you. Don't worry about understanding it. I'll fix you. No, it's in here. And then however you decide to express that will naturally be so beneficial and so beautiful. But it is about you. And if that's uncomfortable for you, if you feel a resistance to that, oh, you've been given a gift of awareness. Become so curious of why you perceive yourself to be so lowly and unworthy. Why do you want for everyone else, but not for yourself? Where's your shame? Where's your judgment? Where are you being greedy, you think? Where are you needing too much, asking too much? Lean into that. This is the ritual. This is the connection that will start truly shaping and altering your life in the direction that many of you are feeling called as intuitives, healers, empaths, deep feelers. Your abilities will just naturally expand. Your ability to magnetize the right people, opportunities, situations to your life will be because you chose it to happen and because your beingness can support that and it agrees with that. It will just naturally magnetize to you. So if you're feeling that disconnection, if you're feeling like I want this, but it's not coming in, become curious of what more is wanting to be shown within yourself, what more is needing to come up. Remember, this doesn't happen through force. It happens through release and surrender and faith. All right. I've spoken about this course multiple times, how to actually change your life. It will be down in the bottom of the captions here. Look for more information. Until next time, stop trying to be spiritual.